YouTube? Welcome back to BYB Tactical, and today we're going to talk about what you should know before you purchase your first firearm. Now, there is a lot of things to consider when buying a firearm. You shouldn't just go to the local gun store and approach the counter and buy the biggest and most beautiful gun that you think. No, you should really consider your options and think about what you do. One of those things to consider before purchasing a firearm is one, your laws and regulations. Make sure you check both your city and state to see if there's anything that you can or can't buy. I'm not going to give any city or state for example, but there is some states that don't allow you to carry more than 10 rounds in a magazine, which is one of these. This is a magazine, so there is some cities and states where you have 10 pretty much rounds, which is another word for bullets. If you have more than 10 bullets, then you can't carry a firearm with that capacity essentially. Another thing you should think about is your routine. Are you consistently going up and down from sitting in your truck to standing, or do you pretty much move around a lot? Are you carrying for work? So you gotta think about that as well. Another thing to think about is your climate. For example, I'm from the windy city of Chicago, so I get to, cover up almost 9 months out of the year. Chicago, you never know what the weather's gonna be, but I get to cover up a lot, so I could carry something a lot bigger. Like for example, I do carry my P320 RX, so this is a full-size gun. I could carry that. And I'm gonna break down exactly what are the different firearms out there and whatnot. So another thing you should think about too is your brands. There's hundreds of brands out there. I could go on and talk about the whole list of all the brands of firearms, but essentially, in my opinion, there is some brands that are better than others. There are some that offer better firearms than others, but honestly, it comes down to what's comfortable for you. For example, some people are big fans of Glocks, but other people are not, just because of the algorithm on the grip module, which is the bottom piece right here with the triggers and everything. They have a different grip module, which, by the way, this is an unloaded firearm, so safety first. And one more thing, before you purchase a firearm, you need to know what's the reason on why you're buying a firearm. Is it for home defense? Are you only gonna have a firearm for your house for home defense? Or are you gonna be concealing carrying every day? So if you're in concealing carry, you need to think about what works best for you in terms of size and caliber. Or are you, just getting into firearms because you want to just start getting into hunting, and maybe you want to again go hunting if you're into that stuff. You gotta think about that stuff. Think about that. So there is many types of firearms. Now I'm not gonna go over all the types. All I have in front of me right now is a revolver and striker fire. So that's what I carry. Now let me break down what each is. So these are the most common firearms out there, revolvers and striker fires. In my opinion, at least, that's why I got them. So what a striker fire is, all it is pretty much, so when you shoot the firearm, right? Let's just say this is a real, firearm, and it is chambered. There is a round inside the chamber, and you're ready to shoot. When you shoot, you heard that click. When you shoot, after the bullet comes out, the slide goes back, forward, then you could release and pull again, the same action happens. So that's what striker fire consists of. A revolver, which I have right here, my Smith & Wesson 38 Special airweight. First thing is, it is empty. Sorry, I don't like really pulling the barrel down the camera, or showing the bottom of through the barrel of a camera, but you just want to make sure we are practicing safety. So what a revolver consists of is, very small, but you could also get some very big revolvers, but it's a lot more compact, a lot more concealable. But you do unfortunately lose capacity. You either at the most could get a 6-shot, if I'm not mistaken. This is a 5-shot. I like to carry this when I'm wearing a suit, or if I'm going somewhere where I don't want to be moving a lot, maneuvering a lot, and I don't want to be seen, and I don't want to be uncomfortable. And talking about comfortability and size. So essentially, when you go buy a firearm, you gotta think about size. And when you think about size, is grip modules are pretty standard everywhere. When I say that, I mean, like, you're gonna still be able to put your hand somewhere. Now, some grip modules are longer than others. For example, this grip module is actually an aftermarket module that I put on my firearm, so I did put this extra width or length on it. Anyways, but when you go buy a firearm, you need to think about the length. So for example, barrels average from about 3 inches to about 5 inches. This is a 4.7 inch. Now, where we get those dimensions from? or those measurements. The measurements come from the front, pretty much where the bullet leaves the chamber, to the trigger. So right here is 4.7 inches, right? Now, I carry this around, but like I said, I usually carry this in the winter because of the climate. I get to put on a lot of sweaters and whatnot. But you also have like something like this. This is a 4.25 barrel. This is a Smith & Wesson MP40. So you can see how it is significantly smaller. I'll try to get them back to back as much as I can, but it is significantly smaller by that much. Now you might be thinking that much doesn't seem like too much, but when you're concealing carrying, if you have them in your holster inside your, it's called in waistband or out of waistband, this does make a difference tremendously. In my opinion, I do feel a lot more comfortable with the Sir Firearm. That's a striker fire. I've noticed that if I go any less than 4.25, I'm not a big fan of it. So I like to keep it between 4.25 and 4.7. However, if I do carry a revolver, this is a lot better in terms of both weight and size. Now, if you look at the difference between the two of these two, you can see they are significantly smaller. This thing looks, my Smith & Wesson looks like it could eat my revolver essentially. So you gotta think about that kind of stuff. And yeah, and I already mentioned the grip module, but there's another thing about grip modules that you gotta think about. So do you want to have a polymer grip module, which is a plastic bottom essentially? So from the barrel below is plastic. This is plastic right here, this polymer, but there is also a tungsten mag wall on the bottom. I don't know if you can really see the big difference, but it kind of adds some weight to it. And the reason why that is because you kind of do want your firearm to be a bit heavy, on the heavy side. And the reason why is because the heavier the gun, the better you can manage recoil. And we'll further down the video, we'll talk about what recoil is. So you have, again, polymer bottoms, or you could have full metal bottoms, which, you know, something like the SIG P229 Legion has. It's an all metal gun. You know, they got the Berettas, they're all metal guns. The list goes on. And you also got to think about, do you want a J-frame, which is like this. This is what you call a J-frame, just the way it is as far as like how you could conceal it and whatnot. And now let's talk about recoil. Now what recoil is pretty much the kickback that you get every time a bullet is fired. So for example, when you shoot, right? Boom. Your recoil is based off two things. One, the size of the barrel size or length, I would say, and also the caliber, which we will get into why calibers matter. So anyways, when you shoot, your gun goes up like that. And depending on how heavy your gun is, how lengthy your barrel is, because the longer the length, the better the recoil in terms of the less recoil there is, and how heavy your gun is, it also depends on how less recoil there is. Now, like for example, something like this really small, I do talk about how I like to use this when I'm using a suit or I'm moving a lot, but this thing is a 38 special. So now again, I'm gonna get into what calibers are later on in the video, but this little thing will set me off a little bit. You know, it is a you know, tough recoil, but you know, that's what you practice with it and you're able to manage it a lot better. But yeah, so that's what recoil is. Now, another thing that affects the recoil apart from the barrel length and the size of the gun is also the caliber. So for example, the one in the middle I have right here, which I'm pretty sure you can see, my 6 Sauer P320 is a 9mm. So it shoots a bullet like this. Let's see if we can get that in there. So it shoots a bullet like that. There's a lot of calibers out there. I'm only going to talk about the calibers I have personally, because I'm not going to talk about another caliber I don't have. That doesn't seem right to me. My other one, my MP40, it's 40 because it shoots out a 40 caliber. Now, another one I have is the revolver, which it says shoots out 38 special. Now, what does that mean? It pretty much, the numbers and whatnot is just the type of caliber it is. The bigger the number, the bigger the round is. So for example, I'm going to show you. So this is all my bullets in comparison to each other. I'm trying to get away where you can see. So from my left to my right, I'm going to read them out. It is a 38 special, which is right here, 9mm in the middle, and the 40 cal on the right. Now, every bullet is different. For recoil, a 40 caliber has more punch than a 9mm, and a 38 special has a more punch than all of them. And it really depends. What makes it have a punch is the powder that's in the inside of your bullet. Now, when you shoot a bullet, this whole thing does not come out. Only the top does, right here. That's what actually comes out of the gun physically. Everything in here is pretty much, everything in between is pretty much just powder to create explosion to make the bullet come out. So don't be concerned, or look at stuff that we're like, well, what actually comes out of the barrel? Like, I've always seen these videos, or I've seen these really dumb magazines where they show the whole bullet comes out. That's completely false. It is only the top that comes out. And well, what sort of round is best for you? So that's another thing you should think about. So when you buy your firearm, you want to think about why you're buying a firearm. Like I said, home defense, if you're going to conceal and carry, or if you're going to hunt. Now, something to think about. If you are going to use a firearm, now it is each to their own. What I'm about to say is my personal opinion. You can have your own opinion, but this is something just the general thought and mindset of the gun community. So when you purchase a firearm and you want to buy something for either home defense or conceal and carry, you gotta think about the type of bullet that you put inside. Now, you have tons of different bullets, but I'm only gonna mention 3, and I'm gonna show you 2. So there's 3 kinds of bullets out there right now that I'm gonna touch on. That's, again, for home defense, conceal and carry. And that is full metal jacket, hollow point, and subsonic. So let me break down each for you. So hollow point, or let's go full metal jacket, sorry. So full metal jacket is pretty much, it's just a full round, no opening in the middle. It's just a big bullet, essentially. That's all it is. Now, hollow point is this. You see the top? Hollow point, I don't know if you can really see that, but there is a opening in the middle. And what it's for is to make sure when you shoot this bullet out, and let's just say it is towards a perpetrator, or let's just say you're in home defense, or again, conceal and carry, it enters the perpetrator and stays there and does not leave the body. Or let's just say if it's a missed shot in your home, it goes through a drywall and does not go past the drywall. The difference between a full metal jacket, which again is this one, and a hollow point, which is this one, again, the traveling distance. So this will go through a person and it probably will ricochet, or it could go through a person and bounce off their bones and ricochet out of the body and potentially hit a bystander. Now that's the last thing you want, is somebody get hurt, and this person get hurt from you trying to save your own life or trying to protect your family. Now again, a hollow point is what I carry. I only have full metal jackets when I go to the range, because these are a lot cheaper than hollow points. And I do always have an extra mag on me. Let me show you. So like for my P320, I always got 2 different mags. I got a hollow point mag and I got a full metal jacket mag. In case this is for conceal and carry, and if stuff gets sticky, I got this with me as well. So, and then the third one is subsonic. Now subsonic pretty much stands for quiet. So you could have a combination of both hollow point and subsonic bullets or rounds, which you can shoot inside the house, and yes, will make a noise, but not as bad as what one like this that's not subsonic do. And all it consists of is pretty much lowering the decibel noise. When you shoot a firearm, it is loud. So you got to think about that as well. Are you in a confined space at home? If you were to shoot, your firearm, who would it impact? Would it impact, your wife or your husband, or if you have kids down the hallway? You got to think about that kind of stuff. So, again, my preference is the hollow point again. And yeah, so now going back to what you're gonna get a firearm for. Are you gonna get it for home defense, or are you get it for conceal and carry and hunting? So, and the reason what I'm about to say is the reason why I'm bringing that back up. So if you're getting a home defense, you might potentially want something longer. And the reason why I say this, you want to make sure your accuracy and your recoil is far better in terms of, because you don't want to hit a bystander, you don't want to hit anybody in your family. Now, when you conceal and carry, you do want to have a smaller one, something that's not noticeable on you, and something that how you've been practicing with and you know how to handle. So then comes the conversation, well, if I go buy a firearm, maybe I need to buy two. And another thing you should think about is I do have nothing but pistols here, right? But if you are having something for home defense, something to think about too is potentially a shotgun. Now, I myself, I do have a 12 gauge Remington shotgun right here. It is completely empty, so you can see how there's absolutely nothing, no shells, empty chamber. I don't know if you can see that. So this is another thing to think about. 12 gauge shotgun, this is a lot longer shotgun for home defense, but you can always get a smaller one as long as it's above 16 inches, so it's not considered a short barrel rifle. So yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it. Please, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always shoot me a message. And please, before you get off the channel, if you could please like and subscribe at the bottom, and please hit the button. Again, I'm here for you guys, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try to get back to you as much as I can. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.